This blanket measures about 40 inches wide by 56 inches long, which makes it the perfect size for me to snuggle up with on the couch. So this beautiful chevron blanket, or zigzag blanket, whatever you want to call it, is made using just single crochets. So this is a great pattern for a beginner. If you are just learning your single crochets and you want to make a beautiful blanket, this is a great one to start with. For this blanket, I used 3 skeins of the Red Heart Super Saver Ombre in the color Anthracite. And I chose this because I love the way it's self-striping and makes this a beautiful kind of coloration throughout the blanket without having to change colors. It just does it in the yarn. And it is just a size 4 medium weight yarn. And then I will also be using a size J crochet hook. And then at the end, you will need, of course, scissors and a little yarn needle to weave in your ends, but we won't be needing that for a while. So to start out, I'm going to make a little slip knot. And then we are going to chain 183. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and just continue on until you have 183. 174, 175, 176, 177, 178, 179, 180, 81, 82, 83. Okay, so now we've got 183 chains. And now we are ready to start with row 1. So let me just show you. So this beautiful little blanket, like I said, is only made using single crochets. But the way we do it is by either skipping chains or single crochets, or by adding additional single crochets. So it gives us the little V's and the little mountains just by increasing or decreasing the number of stitches that we have in each little place. So we're going to set that up right now with row 1. So in the second chain from our hook, we're going to put a single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet in the next 14 stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and there's 14. Now in the next little chain, we're going to put 3 single crochets all in that one little chain. So here's a 1, and a 2, and a 3. And now we're going to do 14 more single crochets going down our chain. So 1 in this little chain, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4, here's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Now we're going to skip this next chain altogether, and moving into the next one, we're going to start our 14 again. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now in the next one, we're going to put 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to do 14 more single crochets down our chain. Here's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And now we're going to skip that next chain again and then move into the next one to do 14 more. So now you're just going to continue that little pattern going down your chain. So you'll do 14 single crochets and then 3 single crochets in one little chain, and then 14 more single crochets and then skip a chain. And by doing that, you're going to start forming little mountains and valleys. So every time you do the 3 single crochets in your one chain, that starts to form a little mountain peak, and then every time you skip that one little chain, it starts to make a little valley. So continue on down your chain, and I will see you when I'm on my very last mountaintop. All right, now I'm on my very last mountain, so 3 little single crochets, 1, 2, 3 in this one. Now 14 single crochets down my chain. Here's 1, oopsie, yeah. Yarn splitting, 1, just so excited to finish this chain. Here's 2, here's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, and now we do 1 more single crochet in the very last one. Okay, now we're going to chain 1 and turn, and now we will be working on row 2, and this row will be the only row in the entire pattern. So you're just going to be repeating row 2 over and over and over again. So what we're going to do for row 2, and also we're going to be working in back loops only forever for the rest of this pattern as well. So you're just going to repeat this row exactly. So to start out, we're going to do a single crochet in the back loop only. So you can see with our little single crochets here. You can see the top of them, they make little pretty little V's. So these are the front and back of the V. We're going to be going in what would be the back loop of the single crochet. So the back one, when you flip it over, it's the one that's closest to us. So we're going to be going just in that back loop, instead of through both of them like we normally would. So when you single crochet, you normally go through 2 of them. We're going to be going only through this back loop. So, but we're back here on our first little single crochet, and we're going to scoop up just this back loop here to do our little single crochet. Okay, so 1 little single crochet. Now we're going to skip 1 single crochet and do 14 single crochets, back loop only. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And now you can see we're actually at the top of our little mountain here. And in this very top little single crochet, we're going to put 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and a 3. So kind of like we did before, we're just putting 3 in 1 little stitch to continue to grow our little mountain peak. And now we're going to do 14 single crochets, also back loop only, going down this little mountain. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Now we're in a little valley, and you can't quite see it yet, but it'll show up soon. But we're going to skip 2 single crochets. So we're going to skip right over this guy and this guy. We're going to go right into this one, back loop only, and do 14 single crochets going back up our little mountain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, and we're back up to a mountain peak, and we're going to put 3 little single crochets in there, back loop only, 2 and a 3. And we're just going to repeat that. So we're going to do, you can see how the peak or the valley starts to show up a little more once we start skipping 2 single crochets. And there's a little mountain, here's another little mountain. So we're just going to continue on. So this time we're going to go down for 14. 1, 2, oh dear, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, and now we're going to skip 2 and back loop only, go back up for 14.
And you're just going to repeat that, where once you reach the little mountain top, you're going to put 3 single crochets in that 1 single crochet, and then you'll do 14 single crochets back down into your valley, where you will skip 2 single crochets.
All right, so we're coming up near the end. So our last valley and our last mountain's coming up. So I'm gonna skip 2, 14 back up the mountain. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, 3 single crochets in the top of our last mountain. There's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and then we're going back down a valley. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now at the very end of the row, you have 2 single crochets left. We're going to skip this one and single crochet into the very last one. So it's kind of like a little mini valley at the very, very edge of each blanket. So now we're going to chain 1 and turn. And now we simply repeat row 2. So remember, we're at the beginning of a little mini valley. So the very, very first stitch we do is in our very, very first little single crochet. And then we always skip 1 and then start our 14. So skip over this, our second stitch, because we just did a single crochet in our first one. We're gonna skip the second one for a little mini valley, and then we do 14 up to our first mountain peak. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, and then we do 3 in the top of our mountain. 1, 2, 3, and just repeat that all the way across. 14 going down our valley, and skip 2, and then 14 going up the mountains to do 3, and 14 to go down the mountain into the valley to skip 2, and 14 to go back up your mountain to do 3 on your mountain peak. And that is all, you guys. Yay! And at the very end, you can see these little back loops only. That is where we have the, that's where these little ridges come from. Otherwise our blanket would be a lot smoother, but kind of adds to the cool texture.
I hope you all enjoyed this little project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and remember to click that subscribe button. It's free, but it's just one way to make sure that you don't miss any of my videos that are coming up. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.